Hi, this is Pearl and welcome to my channel. Today I have a process video for you using the Felicity Jane Hope Kit. This is the kit that came for the month of May 2020. This is my first layout using this kit. So I have all these new cardstock that it's harder for me to use new than it is to use scraps. So the rose paper there that you see, I cut a 4-inch strip of that. And for this pink solid cardstock, I cut off ½ inch off the top so I could leave the scallop border on the bottom. I'm going to do kind of a T-shaped design for this. This is a picture of my brothers, my dad, and myself. I'm going to use a pencil to mark where I'm going to be placing my photo, so I could do some journaling underneath. You can see I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be using the washi tape there as well. So I mark off where my photo is going to go, and then I'm going to use the We Are Memory Keepers typewriter typecast. I have mine in the color mint, and I'm going to do my journaling there. And I'm having my journaling come right under where the photo is going to be. And if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a love-hate relationship with this typewriter because cardstock is hard to roll in through this typewriter. But I do love it because it does fit a 12 by 12 cardstock in there, so I can do my journaling on there. So the journaling reads, after Dad's house got broken into, Roy, Eric, and I met up at Dad's place to help him clean up the mess that they made. They trashed his place. Glass, clothes, paperwork everywhere. Luckily, they didn't take anything important. All his electronics were left, passport safe. They only took his offering money. It added up to several $1,000s, but I'm looking on the bright side. Dad is safe. While we were all there, we discussed family business and came to some important decisions. At times like this, I'm especially grateful to have siblings. I can't imagine going through these types of experiences without them. Having just the 4 of us is our new normal, but I'm still getting accustomed to it. I miss my mom so much. And the title of this is New Normal. So after I finish typing my journaling on here, and I do make mistakes, people ask me what I do when I make mistakes. I just go back and type the correct lettering that I need to put on there, or sometimes I don't realize I have made a mistake until I'm doing the editing, and I just leave it because that's what old typewriters do. You just make mistakes, but you just keep going. And I am embracing the perfectly imperfect. Okay, after I finish my typewriting, I go ahead and erase my pencil marks, although I don't really need to do that because I end up covering it with my layering anyway. I'm using my ATG gun, and I will say that my ATG gun with the new refill has been working so well. The only thing is this one is a permanent adhesive, so whenever I make mistakes like I just did and I don't get it correctly, it pulls up the paper, but I'm okay with that. I'm trying to decide if I should fussy cut this scallop and put that underneath, but I just decided to go ahead with the washi tape that came with this kit. It's so cute. I have a hard time using washi tape on my layouts. I'm not quite sure why, but I do want to use more of it because Mommy here has quite the stash. I do use them in my planners, so I guess I do use them, and my kids use them a lot. So after I do that, I go look for doilies. I have cream color and white color, and these are from Hobby Lobby. If I can link them down below, I will go ahead and do that. Otherwise, just use I think this is like a 4-inch doily. Yeah, so you can use any doily you want if you want to make this similar kind of a layout. I am backing my photos up. I love that Felicity Jane always has a black and white cardstock on there. I'm using my Caterpillar Pro, which is my favorite paper trimmer. I love that it has the LED lights underneath, so I can cut it exactly where it needs to, and I don't need to have refills for the trimmer because it's a self-sharpening rotor. You know what I'm talking about. I like to say English is my second language, so there are times that I forget words. I'm going through the rest of my cardstock here to see what other papers I want to use to layer my photo. And there also came these little tiny files. They're so cute, file folders. And I don't know how I'm going to quite use them in my layouts, but they're so cute. I wish there was a way, if you guys have any ideas on how to use these file folders, that would showcase them, let me know in the comments down below. So I'm looking at the different cardstocks to see what other ones I want to end up layering, and I do end up using this sage kind of green one, but I decide I want to use this for a mat for another layout that I'm going to use, or at least I think I do. So I'm using the X-Acto knife to gut out the middle. I'm not precise with it. I just try to leave around a 2-inch frame around the cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I use my 9-inch Tim Holtz scissors to cut the paper a little bit straight, because it doesn't need to be perfect for me, because it is just scraps that I'm using, and I love these scissors. These are so nice. I'm trying to hide them from my kids so they don't use it on all their crafts. I use the other end of this green paper that I cut off, and on the flip side there's just a bunch of numbers on there. And I'm using the doily, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put it on the top or the bottom of the left hand side. I end up putting it towards the top. I adhere that to the layout, and then I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Foam dimensionals to lift up the edges so that I could get some more dimension on there. I'm not as crazy with it as I normally am. I keep saying I need to use some fun foam, fun craft to lift the whole picture, but I keep forgetting to do that when it's actually time to do the layout. So what I decide to use the file folder for is I'm going to date stamp it using VersaFine ink, because it's very good at detail stamping, and so I'm going to use a Felicity Jane date stamp to stamp the date on top of this file folder, and I'm going to adhere it to the back of my layout, or the my picture. I thought this way you can see that it's actually a file folder, and I thought about adhering or putting some pictures in there, but I decided against that, because to look at the pictures and show the design of the file folder, you'd have to take the layout out of the page protector to see it later. So these little rose colored mini clips came with the kit, so I put one on the top left hand side. I decide I want to stamp using a stamp from the kit, and I end up using the one that says every little thing will be okay, because yeah, I need that reminder. But I go through the different die cuts to see what I'm going to use, and I end up using the little die cut that says together on the bottom with a little plant, and I'm going to use that to ground the bottom of right hand side of my layout. And I used the ATG gun to put in the together, but I use a Stampin' Up! Foam dimensional to lift up the flower pot. So I know I'm going to do that, and I'm going to end up stamping above that says every little thing will be okay. Yeah, great reminder, right? Everyone needs to know that, especially during this time of the crazy pandemic that our world is going through right now. So I go ahead and place that down. I'm going to use the VersaFine Black Onyx to stamp, because it's great at detail stamping. I love this ink pad. If there's only one ink pad you can get, no, that's not true. You would need two, because you need one to stamp onto photos as well. So the two ink pads I would recommend is the VersaFine and the Stays On. And the Stays On dries out more quickly, because it also dries on photos quickly, but I have a refill that I just re-inked the pad. So I'm looking at this big flower die cut, and I end up cutting it in half so I could use it in two different places. One of the flowers I put to the top left-hand corner of my photo, and then the one that I cut, I'm going to also put to the top left and the bottom right of my photo as well. So I'm cutting this this die cut in half, and I'm going to place them using the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals again. So those are going to be my 3 areas of embellishment, and I'm keeping this one pretty simple. You'll see, not too crazy, but this is also my first layout with this kit, so I'm getting used to the kit. You know what I mean? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You got to get a feel for the kit, you know. But one thing I do love about the Felicity Jane is that everything goes so beautifully together. It kind of takes some of the guesswork out. So I'm going to put, of course, some splatters on there. And this Heidi ink, it's leaked everywhere. And I think she's not selling these anymore. So if any of you guys have any recommendations of black ink that I can use to splatter that's readily available, please list them down below because I need to get something that you guys can find as well. So that would be great. So I realized after I did the splattering that I don't have a title. So if I had thought about it, I probably would have put the title where the file folder is, but that's already adhered down. So I end up putting the title to the bottom of my journaling, and you can see that I'm trying to count out the letters because I didn't know what my title was going to be, but I end up titling it New Normal because our family of 5 is now a family of 4. So I go ahead and put that down, and as I'm cleaning my ink, my stamp, I got a little water onto my layout from my stamp chamois. Ugh, so frustrating. But my daughter had helped me wet the stamp chamois, and so, you know, mistakes happen, but it ended up drying just great. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.